This lesson is an introduction to shapes and line drawings. There are a number of built-in classes that implement the shape interface. Of course, a class that implements the shape interface can be treated as a shape object, and any shape object can be drawn in a window with a call to the graphics 2D method named draw. Some of these shapes can get pretty fancy, and I'll be showing you some of the fancy stuff later, but right now, let's take a look at a simple shape. This program draws the outline of an ellipse. Notice right here we create a reference to a shape object. Because the ellipse 2D class is also a shape class, its address can be stored in a shape reference, which we do in the very next statement. This statement builds an ellipse 2D object that is 100 pixels wide and 80 pixels tall and stores its address in the shape reference. The final statement in the paint method is called draw. This draws an outline of the shape in the window. It looks like this. Here you see a simple outline of the shape drawn with a simple thin line, but shapes can be drawn with several different kinds of lines. To show you what I mean, let me first show you a class that creates a whole array of shape objects. Now this class doesn't have a constructor. All it contains is a single static method that creates an array of shape objects and returns the array to its caller. The first thing that happens in the function is a declaration of an array to hold all the shape objects. There are to be 7 of them. The very first one is inserted into the array. It's a rectangle 2D object. It has one of those internal constructors named float, and it requires 4 float values. The first 2 values specify the position of the upper left-hand corner of the rectangle, and the second 2 make the rectangle into a square 200 pixels on a side. An ellipse 2D shape is constructed as a circle 200 pixels on a side, and its position in the window is directly below the rectangle. This is the constructor of a shape known as a general path shape. It starts off empty and allows you to draw into it. It has a number of methods to do this, including curves and points and even affine transforms. You know how the affine transform works, and I'll be showing you different kinds of curves later. Basically, you can think of a general path object like a pen plotter. It starts out with a blank sheet, and you move the pen around and make marks. In this example, the pen is first moved without drawing anything to a position on the page. Then the line 2 method is used to draw a straight line to another point on the page. The line 2 method is used again to continue the drawing, but in another direction to another point. Once this is done, the closed path method is called to draw a line from the last point back to the beginning. That gives us a closed polygon, in this case a triangle. The triangle is then inserted into the array as the next shape. Now the last 4 shapes are simply straight lines. These are drawn so they intersect in the middle and look like a giant asterisk. The 7 shapes are all stored in the array, and the array is returned to the caller. Everything in this method is created with a new keyword, including the array itself, so this method can be called again and again to produce as many of these arrays as you might want. One of the nice things about Java is that the caller will just be able to forget about the whole thing when he's done with it, and Java itself will reclaim the memory and recycle it when it's needed again. You can create memory leaks in Java by having things refer to one another, but you almost have to work at it to do it. It's a simple matter to write a program that will display all of these shapes. Now this program is the same as the other canvases I've been showing you. Here the paint method gets the call to draw things in the window. This is the line of code that calls the static method of the bunch of shapes class and gets a copy of the array of shapes. This loop goes through the entire array and calls the draw method for every shape in it. Each shape is drawn into the window. Here are all the shapes, the square, the circle, the triangle, and the asterisk, all drawn as thin lines only 1 pixel thick. Now this thin line is the default stroke for drawing anything in a window, but lots more can be done with this line, and I'll be showing you some of that next.